From the United States of America, where leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi has been on a 4-day visit. And in one of the viral images that have now surfaced, Rahul Gandhi meeting, among others, look closely. In the black is Ilhan Omar. She's a lawmaker in the USA, but she's not no ordinary lawmaker. She's been known for her anti-India views. Remember that she visited Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir as well. Earlier met Imran Khan. She's a known anti-India beta usually, and has ruffled and spoken on a lot of internal issues of India on which there is absolutely no connect. And therefore, this meeting, could it ignite a political showdown as well with this visit that had happened? Remember, while there are other leaders as well, other lawmakers, as you can see in this image, including Indian origin lawmakers, but how and why was Ilhan Omar among the few who were selected to meet Rahul Gandhi? Because remember, this has been earlier as well when she had visited Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Even other lawmakers in the USA were surprised. There had to be an official statement that was given out that it wasn't on government's money that she was making this visit. So a lot of her suspicious activities, her views on India, India's internal issues, have raised a lot of political showdown in the past few years. And as you see on your screen, we are putting out the background of why Ilhan Omar is so prominent, specifically when it comes to anti-India issues that she's been supportive of, and whether it's about the issues of Kashmir, of minorities, of Muslim communities, and a lot of these are, remember, exaggerated rhetorics that she has been supporting, unknown with and unsure about the basic facts on the ground. Let's go across then to USA, because joining me from Philadelphia is a journalist, my colleague Rohit Sharma, for the latest on this. Rohit, do you think this is going to be a huge showdown now? But it does beg a question. He was meeting these lawmakers, which is fairly within his rights. Ilhan Omar is someone I'm sure even Rahul Gandhi and others would know could create trouble and ruffle feathers back home.
Well, look, when that picture was put out, a lot of people were definitely surprised. And you see Khanna from the Samosa caucus is there. You see Sympathizer from the caucus, from Samosa caucus is there. You also see Raja Krishnamurthy on there. So, I mean, again, the meeting was called by Brad Sherman. And a lot of people, and a lot of NRIs actually were outraged to see that, Indian American Congress people were meeting, with Rahul Gandhi in the presence of Ilhan Omar. Now, look, the line I've got off the record from one of the congressperson's, aide is that this was a Brad Sherman meeting. He had invited them, and not everybody knew who was going to show up. And, the invitation was pretty broad. It was extended to a lot of Congress people, and Ilhan Omar chose to attend this and be there. Not that it's fault of any of the Indian American, congressperson. And look, at the end of the day, he's not a private citizen. He is a leader of opposition of the world's largest democracy. And they have to, and especially, in election year, when America talks about democracy, defending democracy, they have to show up and meet and hear him out. So I think most of them, are towing to that line. But fact of the matter remains that Ilhan Omar, who, as you said, is a Pakistani sympathizer, was on that meeting. But she is a congresswoman. She was invited and she chose to attend. We cannot say, like this was, the Indian American Congress people, I should say, are complicit in this. But they made a choice. Not.
And it's interesting that, what you say is very pertinent, of course, because there are others who've been supportive and talk about India's issues, and they were a part of this conversation. How and why did Ilhan Omar make her presence? What was discussed? We're still getting clarity on that. Rohit, please stay on with me, because here in India it's become a huge showdown. Let's go across now. I'm joined by a BJP leader, BJP spokesperson, Nalin Kohli is joining me right now. Mr. Kohli, what do you think is an objection to it? We have Khanna there, we have Sri Thanedar there. So there is also an Ilhan Omar. He is in the USA after all.
Well, Mr. Rahul Gandhi's track record in whom he chooses to meet is always fascinating. So Ilhan Omar is another feather in his cap. He chose to meet with the Chinese ambassador surreptitiously, without informing anyone, quietly, when Doklam was happening, when there was almost their forces illegally in Doklam. He chose to walk to JNU and show support to what's famously now called the Tukde Tukde gang, when they were literally asking for the dismemberment of India. Mr. Rahul Gandhi goes abroad and says, what is America and US doing about democracy in India? So he seeks foreign interference. And then now he meets, say, one Mr. Ilhan Omar, who's known to have very strong views against India, is known to be in some way or the other a supporter of the extreme elements in Canada, which are elements that are inimical to India and India's interests. The POK in Pakistan. So why should we, I think Mr. Rahul Gandhi, we should compliment him for his consistency in always being seen in the company of those who seem to have a stance that is not really in India's larger interest.
Do you think this is Rahul Gandhi's choice? Do you think this is Sam Pitroda who's basically strategizing, ensuring these meetings happen? Who do you think needs to possibly answer?
Rahul Gandhi's choice, it goes without saying, because Mr. Sam Pitroda, after all, is not going to be leading Mr. Rahul Gandhi by the finger and taking him where he likes. Mr. Rahul Gandhi is the final person who's meeting people. If Mr. Rahul Gandhi puts the blame on someone else, then it's even more serious. It shows that the leader of opposition of the world's largest democracy does not exercise any discretion, and therefore he has no choice and can be taken to any place by anyone. And that's a fairly telling comment if that is true. On the other hand, Mr. Pitroda would obviously be acting on Mr. Rahul Gandhi's instructions. And Mr. Pitroda, through the elections, has had some fascinating comments, which created a huge furor in India to the extent that the Congress party not only disowned itself from Mr. Pitroda's comments, but in fact even removed him for the post. And now he's back because he's, after all, a Nehru Gandhi family loyalist. And so between the two of them, one can't see a difference. The two of them would have to be seen together, and it would be an informed choice that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has obviously exercised. The suggestion may have been from Mr. Pitroda, may not be from him, one doesn't know, but that only the two of them can come out with a statement and let the world know.
One final question, Mr. Kohli, because I remember Priyanka Chaturvedi, who's in many ways an alliance partner as well to the Congress, had actually shut down Ilhan Omar, specifically when it came to the whole Nijjar Khalistani issue and about accusation of India's involvement. She said, how is and why is a US representative interfering in India's matters? So do you think this is where it is as much about what the alliance partners are saying, that the Congress should have also adhered to?
India's interests, and those who believe in India's interests will say they're a correct thing. And that's how it is supposed to be. India's interest should be paramount to anyone who's in the government, who's not in government, who's in the opposition, or who's in the ruling party. It doesn't matter. We are Indian citizens. Our allegiance is to the country first. Our allegiance is to the Constitution of India. And we all have to be one against anyone who has interests against India. So if Priyanka Chaturvedi is saying that, she's doing exactly what any Indian would be expected to do. In fact, if I recall, even Mr. Owaisi has ticked down Pakistan that you will not interfere in India's internal matters. So India comes first. But if Mr. Rahul Gandhi doesn't come out with a statement on this, then people will believe, or at least will be correct to ask a question: does Mr. Rahul Gandhi agree with the views that are anti-India? And that's why he's choosing to meet such people.
All right, so maybe possibly a strategy and a statement coming here at play. And could there be a comment from and a clarification from Rahul Gandhi that was there anything wrong, not wrong at all, to meet Ilhan Omar, among others? Thank you very much, Mr. Nalin Kohli, on that. I want to now go back to the USA. On the ground is my colleague, journalist Rohit Sharma. Rohit, can you just also tell us from the images possibly who all were a part of this meeting? Because I can see barely a few. And that is why perhaps because there is Ilhan Omar in those few has added to the debate.
Well, look, again, I'm just looking at this right now again and trying to remember some of the names I see. Obviously Sympathizer and Ilhan Omar. There's Brad Sherman. There is Khanna. Yes. I think there's a congressman from New York. So it was a broad coalition. I mean, we knew this. And I think just yesterday when we talked on your show, I told you he was going to meet some of the US lawmakers. So we knew that he was going to do it. But the fact that if Ilhan wasn't in this meeting, would we be talking about this? Maybe not. Or maybe, but it kind of does add that element of doubt in minds of people. And I think anybody, would question Mr. Gandhi for doing this, this meeting with Ilhan. I mean, look, you can't blame the Indian American congressmen. They're US congressmen. They get invited to dozens of meetings and they go. But should Mr. Gandhi would have done that? Could he have used a better judgment? And I think that's the answer India needs to ask Mr. Gandhi. Especially, it's a proven fact that she's traveled to Pakistan on Pakistani dime. So what was Mr. Gandhi doing there? I mean, I think unless and until the notes are made public, we would not know.